All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reading an email from somebody struggling immensely with health anxiety. If you'd like to send me your story, submit it to stories@coachjordanhardgrave.com and I may read it on this channel. Let's go and get right to it. The subject line says, "I can't keep living like this. Hi Jordan, I don't usually write to people like this, but I'm at a point where I don't know what else to do. My health anxiety is ruining my life. I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 70. Every little thing that happens to my body makes me think that I'm dying. I can't even enjoy a meal without worrying that I'm going to choke or that something in the food is going to make me sick." I've seen that so many times. I even dealt with that at one point in time. And especially with complex trauma, sometimes there's something called a categorical collapse. And so if you have a lot of painful experiences in your past related to ingesting something and it making you anxious, eventually your brain collapses the whole category and says anything that I ingest that could change my state is a threat. And so that definitely could be part of what's fueling it, but especially if you directly ingested something and it made you sick or have a lot of pain, or you witnessed somebody ingest something and it made them very sick, that also could be what's fueling that. So the worst part is the panic attacks. They come out of nowhere and hit me like a ton of bricks. My heart starts racing, I get dizzy, and I'm sure that I'm having a heart attack. I've been to the ER more times than I can count, and they always say the same thing: "You're fine, it's just anxiety." But it doesn't feel like anxiety when it's happening. It feels real, like I'm going to die. Yeah, I tell people I used to have 20 panic attacks a day, and I was so certain that I was about to die, which is what caused me to resist. And ironically, is part of what kept my stress so high. It's usually that the panic attack is connected to some sort of catastrophic fear, such as you losing your mind or passing out or your heart stopping. And so it's really you're resisting the outcome that is associated with the panic attack. But what we resist persists. And because we're resisting so much, even though we're safe, our brain and body and nervous system are going to back us up with stress. And if that stress just keeps escalating, then eventually it's like a volcano, right? It's going to be a volcanic eruption. And that's really what a panic attack is. But they feel so real. They feel as if you're dying. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I read somewhere that cutting out caffeine might help, so I've stopped drinking coffee, but I'm still getting these attacks. Yeah, I mean, caffeine is a nervous system stimulant. That's why people drink coffee usually, is they want to get a little bit of energy. I drink coffee every morning, and it really kind of helps break some of that grogginess. I just drink, like 1 cup basically. But at the same time, while that might have reduced sympathetic nervous system elevation, that doesn't mean that you've dealt with all the other things that are happening in your body and in your life that are inducing stress. The thing is, I wasn't always like this. I used to be a person who laughed off getting a cold or joked about getting a cold. Now I'm terrified of everything. It's exhausting. My friends have started pulling away because they're tired of hearing about my latest symptom, and honestly, I don't blame them. My heart breaks at hearing this. I don't want you to feel shame. I know that it's easy to feel that shame because of the embarrassment, and maybe your friends, gave you certain looks or said certain things to you that were very hurtful because they didn't understand. But just know that I understand you and many people understand you. And this is serious in the sense of your nervous system is preparing as if there's danger. And other people may look at you and be like, hey, like, there's no evidence of this. You've been to the doctor. Like, why are you worried about your health? Like, it's illogical. What they don't understand is health anxiety is not based upon logic. In fact, because your body is going into fight or flight response, your thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, starts to shut down. That's logical, critical, creative, contextual thinking. And so whenever you've got stress hormones like cortisol, adrenaline pumping through your bloodstream, and your brain goes into something called catastrophic risk assessment, where it's pointing out all the catastrophic scenarios about your health are real, and it's going to feel as if it's as real as death itself. But other people whose bodies are not in that state and they've got full access to their thinking brain, they're looking at you like, this doesn't make any logical sense, and they don't understand that the state that you're in is not allowing you to be logical, and sometimes they can be very hard on you or make you feel weak or broken. But I'm telling you, you're not broken, you're not weak, and there are more people that experience health anxiety than you would ever imagine. I was one of them. My mom dealt with it for 20 plus years, and funny story, my mom actually is my assistant, and she started to show up to my coaching meetings just to, help support the group. And I never directly coached her to get over health anxiety. She just listened to what I was teaching other people and she applied it. And after 20 plus years of suffering, she called me up one day and she said, Jordan, I was able to go to your brother's house because he, used to live like in the middle of the woods and she didn't want to go there because she was so afraid of being away from a hospital. And she said I was able to be calm and focused and connected and wasn't worried about my health at all. And just to be able to help your mom overcome something like that is wonderful. But also myself. I mean, I used to call my aunt, who's a doctor, all the time. And, she knew just how to give me that reassurance that everything was okay. But it really, really dominated my life. I was terrified that my heart was going to stop all the time. I avoided blood pressure monitors. Like, it was such a frustrating situation because like I wanted to take my blood pressure and see that the numbers were good, 120/80, whatever. But whenever I would feel the pressure on my arm and would feel my heart rate elevating and kind of beating throughout my body, I would quickly hit the release valve. And it was just absolutely humiliating and frustrating. And I would constantly check my pulse just to make sure my heart was beating. I was terrified that my breathing was going to stop. I thought that I was having cancer all the time. Health anxiety used to literally control my life, and now it doesn't. And now if I have something happen, I've actually so rewired my brain that my brain starts to assume the least catastrophic thing. But it took a while, but it's possible. So anyway, don't feel any shame. People may not get you and think that you're exaggerating. But I understand, and there are millions of people that also understand you. And you can overcome this. You said, I'm really struggling to see a way out of this. I saw a comment on one of your videos about how you managed to get your anxiety about your health under control, and it gave me a little bit of hope. I just want to feel normal again, but I don't even know what that is anymore. Thanks for listening. It's nice to know that there's somebody out there who understands. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is just give you a little bit of a tip, okay? And I want you to ask this question. What else could this be that's not life-threatening? And I want you to go down the list of all the things that that symptom could be that don't represent a catastrophic scenario about your health. And that's one of the things that you can start doing to rewire your mind to not assume the worst case scenario about your health. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to take a look at your situation, use that tip that I just gave you, and just know that you're not alone and that you can overcome this, okay? So go ahead and smash the like button if this encouraged you, comment something below, and look forward to more videos about health anxiety, and I hope you have an awesome day. Take care.